What is happening, guys? Mattmade here. Here is my review of A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15. Don't forget, if you like weekly reviews and daily Let's Plays, consider striking that subscribe button. A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15 was released on September 2016 for PS4 and Xbox One for free. The premise is that you're King Regis telling young Noctis a story about your adventures, either made up or real. I'm leaning towards the real side considering how it plays out. And it's about how you're attempting to track down the stolen crystal and get it back with the help of Cid and Gladius's father and Lucius. The combat is really fun. You have your lights, heavy, you have a shield dash, as well as a dodge roll. And if you're far enough away from an enemy, you'll throw one of your weapons or throw your sword and you'll teleport to him like Noctis does in the actual game. The game itself is a normal beat 'em up style game, more like Streets of Rage and Double Dragons. It's a side scroller and you have different planes you can be on, and the planes it's pretty smooth. You know, you can walk up and down them with ease, and you can really get around your enemies and do some really fun and interesting combos, such as you can do a launcher, you can do kind of a stun, you can do kind of a spinning shield attack. It's really interesting, and as you progress through the game, you get each member of your retinue. So you can call in Lucius, you can call in Cid, you can call in Gladius's father for different types of things, and as you build your combos, you can also use your armor trigger, which does a massive amount of damage. The story is really interesting. The monsters have stolen the crystal from the city, and you're running, trying to track them down, trying to get that crystal back, which leads me to believe that this game takes place in continuity, kind of, because the crystal was stolen. However, it could have been stolen in the actual game itself, but it's fun to think of this as either in canon or off to the side somewhere. The game provides some nice little backstory and filler for Noctis and his father Regis, because in the actual game you don't get much. You just know, hey, this is Noctis's father, and when Arden attacked, he was killed. That's all you get. But in this, you see how much of a father Regis really was to Noctis, how much he cared about him. And between this and the special anime that they came out with before the game was released, it really fills in how much Regis cared about Noctis. And speaking of Noctis, Kid Noctis is adorable. Like, you see him sitting there all googly-eyed, wanting his father to tell him a story. Doesn't care if it's made up. He just wants his father to actually talk to him, read him a bedtime story, and spend time with him, which really lends itself to how much Noctis cared about him and gives more weight to how Noctis felt and credence to his reaction when he found out that Regis was killed. You also get more insight on the side characters and how they were in the actual game. I don't know if they meant to have them as filled out or if they wanted to flush them out in the actual story and couldn't, or if they decide to make this an homage or some type of backstory that to the fans who wanted it. But it's pretty interesting to see their interactions, how they talk to each other, how they act with one another. And I appreciate the side characters even more so now that it's something to call back to or something I can think about, like, hey, this is how he will fight, and hey, this is how Cid knows Regis, or why Regis and Cid are like they were. As for the gameplay itself, again, it is a side-scroller beat 'em up, kind of like Streets of Rage or Double Dragons. However, it doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It's not like it's trying to make new mechanics or do something that no one's ever seen before. which is kind of sad, but as it's a free game, it's what I expected and it's acceptable in every way. They focus more on the storytelling aspects and the actual mechanics and gameplay instead of trying to invent a new gimmick or mechanic that people probably just wouldn't like. In the game, there's also a trials mode once you complete the main quest or the main story, which the main story can be completed within 2 or 3 hours if you just speed through it and don't die much. And with the trials mode, which I think they call it like dream battles, I believe, you have different criteria that you have to hit, and on top of which you have a lot of enemies coming at you. I really wish this game was co-op, since you have Regis and you have Sid and Gladios' father, whose name I cannot remember, and you have Lucius or Lucas. I can't remember his name either. Let's just say Lucius, whatever. Which it made me really want that game to be co-op. It made me like, man, if I could sit on the couch with some buddies and we can hammer out this game, I'd pay $10, $15, $20 for a fleshed out version of a King's Tale. Overall, if you don't have any mainstay game that you really want to play and you have a couple hours that you can throw at a game, I highly recommend playing a King's Tale. Its combat is fun, it has interesting design, it has it gives more backstory and fleshes out the characters a bit better, and it's just a fun side-scrolling beat 'em up if you really are into those, which I am. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about A King's Tale. Does it seem like your type of game? Do you like side-scroller beat 'em ups? And if so, what is your favorite side-scroller game, just in general? Start that subscribe button if you want weekly reviews and daily Let's Plays. This is Mattmade, and I will see you guys next time.